Hello and welcome to my new YouTube channel, Goal Fulfillment. So what I'm doing is this is the fourth person that I'm interviewing about their goals for 2021. And this is a preview of some Zoom coaching that I will be doing, which is life coaching about your goals. And this will be a 1 year meeting once a week, checking in, and then once a month I will teach some goal setting techniques. And the part that's being previewed is the three big meetings of the year. There'll be one at the beginning of the year. They'll ask you questions to help you formulate your goals, and then meeting in the middle of the year and making adjustments, seeing what's working, what's not working, and then some questions to help redirect yourself. And then at the end of the year, we will see what worked and didn't work. So then, we all learn and then see the lessons we learned so we can put them into 2022 and do even better. And hopefully each year keep on doing better and better, learning the lessons and carrying what's working and what's not working, and double down on what's working. So if you take a few minutes to introduce yourself, Isan, what you're basically working on, what's your area of focus, and your basic dreams.
Sure. Hi. Thank you so much for having me, Robert. My name is Aisan, as you mentioned, and I'm an interior designer. Me and my husband own our company where we provide services from geotechnical engineering to structural and interior design. I'm a civil and interior designer for our company, and now I'm a mom of two toddlers, and yeah, that's pretty much uh, what I'm doing.
Well, thank you for the introduction. So, the most basic question I'll start off with: what are your goals for 2021?
21. Well, when you told me about my goals, I was thinking about them, and I think I can divide them in two different categories: personal and business. In terms of personal goals, I really want to spend more quality time with my kids. I want to make more traditions around every occasions, every holidays, make them very memorable for them. And then I have goals regarding friendships. In 2020, despite COVID, I was able to meet such a wonderful people. I was able to make great friendships, including you, Robert. I am so grateful for your friendship. And I feel like as I'm getting older, I value time and I value myself more. And I really want to surround myself with people who share the same values as me. Um, I I'm really looking for people who are authentic, honest, and I want to eliminate toxic people, people who are draining in a way. And yeah, that is something that I want to focus more, making more friendships and connections. And also in terms of fitness and health, I really want to lose some weight 2021 and adopt a better, healthier lifestyle, not only for me, but for my whole family. Then we go to business, which I'm very, very excited about. Let me tell you how this goal evolved. Um, During the lockdown, I started making these YouTube videos. They were like DIY projects and home decor projects, and it was just a hobby for me. And I was putting the videos on my YouTube channel and then posting pictures on my Instagram. And then I started noticing that people are actually liking these videos. And I was getting messages from friends telling me that they are recreating these, projects. And so it was very nice to hear all those messages and feedbacks. And then I started thinking, how can I make a bigger impact and also turn that into a business? So as an interior designer, I know that color has a significant impact on our emotions, moods, and even our behavior. You know, like now they're using color as a treatment in medicine. It is proven that color can increase your heartbeat or vice versa, you know. And during lockdown, like people were working from home, kids were not going to school, so everybody were inside the house 24/7, and not knowing the colors they have incorporated in their surrounding can have an significant impact on their mood and behavior. So I thought I could make a course, an online course, and teaching people how to create their desired mood by changing a little bit of color here and there, or changing a little bit of accessories here and there, and create what they're looking for. Let's say if somebody is very stressed out and is looking for a calm and relaxed environment, or if someone is looking for like kind of an uppy feeling or energetic environment, and they can be achieved by just changing a little bit of colors within their interior. So that's how I thought about making this online course, which I think hopefully it will be launched by end of the month. And that is my biggest goal. I'm so excited about it. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's really cool that one of your goals, you might have an early celebration and then be able to build off of that and build like a nice momentum that you can carry on for the rest of the year. That's really awesome.
Thank you.
That's why it's important to, you know, sometimes if you really want to do something and you have something in your mind, don't wait until, oh, after this or at the beginning of the year, because it's good to, it just, because you want it so bad. It's not like, oh, after this happens or after that. If we keep on saying after this and that, it just keeps on getting kicked down the road.
That's
And
so
I
true.
can't be excited about it anymore. It's like, "Ugh, if I'm really passionate about it, just start doing it, just like you did. That's really awesome.
Thanks.
Well, thank you for sharing. And so, what are your basically, what is your game plan or your steps to achieve your goals of the
Well,
goals you mentioned?
yeah, that's a great question. I mean, there's a famous saying that goals without plan are only dreams, right? So it's
Mhm.
important to plan. And, I have been working on it in the last few months. I did a little bit of testing on my social media just to see how people react to it, to the idea. And I was very surprised to see that people really like the idea. So from there, I started, being more serious about it. And so the first step is just creating the content, which is almost done by now that we're talking early January. And hopefully I can post it on the platform. And the next step will be marketing, and we'll go from there.
Sounds awesome. And I like that it's not just career goals, that you're thinking about family and everything else, because, there's many things that make us feel happy and feel fulfilled.
Exactly. And Robert, like I have set myself for failure in the past by saying, yeah, I'm gonna adopt a healthier lifestyle. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna do this. But these are just too broad and vague. Um, Over the time, I learned that I have to be very specific. Let's say I have to say, I am going to do the grocery shopping and meal prep every Sunday, and that is specific enough to make me successful, rather than just saying I'm going to eat healthy, or I'm going to bike to work every Wednesday. I mean, that might sound very small step, but when you think about it over the year, it will add up, and it will make a significant impact.
That's so true. Just like you working on your interior design business a little every day. It's sometimes it seems like we're not getting anywhere, but then it's slowly building. And then we look back and go, oh, I got somewhere. Yes.
Exactly. That's so true.
See, 1 second. Which of your goals do you find would be the most challenging for you to accomplish of the ones you mentioned before?
Most challenging one. I think uh, work-life balance is might sound easy, but for me, it's challenging because, as I mentioned, I am a mom of two toddlers, and time management is a little bit difficult sometimes. To allocate time for my work and my personal well-being and for my kids. So probably I tend to put my family before myself, and um, I think allocating time for myself, for my health, that might be a little bit challenging for me, just because I tend to put myself after kids or work. um, that that is something which I think might be a little bit challenging for me.
One thing is, I think that when we trying to hit different areas, I think to motivate ourselves to dedicate time for each one is each one of those things, if you do them, will feed energy into the other goals that you have.
Exactly, that's so true.
And that's the other thing, because keeping our energy up and our positive outlook, when we are able to, then we have different roles and we have different hats, and then there's different people that will benefit from the goals we have. There's some things that we do that will benefit ourselves, and that is good too, because then we have to say, okay, what is my purpose? What do I want to leave behind? And that's very important. But then the other things, and connecting is so important, especially now with all these lockdowns and everything else. And I, just like you, I've made new friends because of Zoom. Before I just had, local friends, that you came in contact with. But now, through my goals and everything, now I have friends in other countries. Like you're from Canada. I have a couple of friends from Canada now. I have a friend from England, a friend from Scotland, and a friend from Pakistan. So that's definitely
International.
brown, and it's amazing. I haven't been to any of those countries.
That's true. Yeah, like good things can come out of negative situations, right?
It's so true. And some of our greatest people in history were created out of hard times.
Mhm.
And
Yes,
we don't realize that those hard times, they weren't like, oh, I'm so happy this is going on. No, they were like, oh, just like any of us. But they were making the best of it, and they transcended and even did amazing things that most of us would never dream of. And a lot of us, that will happen in our life. Sometimes we'll lose a job and we're like, oh, but then later it leads us to somewhere better. But at the time, we're like, oh no, why me? And all this. And
that's
then
true
we
because
go, hey, I'm so happy that happened. But I didn't enjoy it when it happened.
exactly, because that's when we look around ourselves and see the new opportunities which we wouldn't see otherwise, right?
Yeah, it's so true. And then we got this force behind us, like, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna do this. Exactly. What do you Is there anything you need to learn or study to accomplish some of your goals, or skills
Yeah,
you need to increase through education?
absolutely. I have been learning about, I am not very tech savvy, so I've been learning different softwares and platforms, being able to use social media more efficiently. And these are some of the things that I needed to learn. But I also think that it's not end of it. I have to keep learning more and more. Probably I have to be learning about different strategies when it comes to marketing and just improving the platform that I'm using right now. And one thing which I also think is important as a business owner, if you talk to uh, very successful people, they always say like the growth is not like this, it's rather like the because in business it's like 3 steps forward, 2 step back, and uh, every day is a learning process. You learn from your failures, you learn from every little step on a way is a learning process. So I see it that way. I am prepared to face some challenges on a way, and by learning probably I can smooth my way to growth.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's the whole thing is entrepreneurship is not for everyone because people need that little straight line and that sort of thing, but sometimes the rewards and the personal fulfillment can be really great, and that's what inspires us to keep on going on. And it's always going to be learning, because no matter where you go, sometimes we'll find things that are working and then things will change. New technologies will come out and new systems. So one thing that I'm doing right now is I'm getting into self-development. So I'm looking at 10 self-development companies and looking at their social media and different little things and writing down little notes and getting ideas from that. But then you can't, I think that's good, but then you can't fall too in love with it and get rid of your own personal creativity too. Because if you fall too much into that, you can have something in your own solution and something that's different and find something. Sometimes technology exists, but people aren't using it in a certain way. And nobody thought of something. It's like, oh, I could use it in this way. And it's not anything to do with technology. It's just creativity of using it in a different way. So that's something too that I see. What obstacles could stand in your way of accomplishing goals for this year? Or what potential obstacles?
Well, I think unknowns and things that are unpredictable, there could be health issues or something like that could potentially not stop me, but delay the process. That's how I see it. Other than that, as a business owner, it's important to always do risk management and be prepared for things that you can predict. But then, there are always, it's life. You can't control everything. And so those things are just unknown and unpredictable. And the only thing comes to my mind would be a health issue. Like, I can't really think of anything else that can stop me, but even in that case, probably it will delay and yeah.
Yeah, just like this COVID thing and all this, who would have ever predicted that?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's all those kind of things that we can't control. I keep myself in a positive things, knowing that most things I can control, and that's the good news.
Yes.
We'll bear through and deal with the things that we can't. Exactly.
Exactly. And when things happens, I mean, it happens for everyone, right? Like even the most successful people, they have health issues, they have kids, they have sick days, they have senior parents to take care of. I mean, this is for everybody, and it's just the matter of how you're looking at problems and how you're dealing with them. So I think no matter what happens, I can deal with it at that particular time. And just it's important to keep the focus and just think that, okay, I can do this work right now, but it's okay. And I'm not going to forget about it. It's just going to happen next week or next month.
Exactly. And as we get older too, we've gone through more and more challenging times. And from that, we can build off of it and handle it better than we did when we didn't have as much experience when we were young.
That's so true. When my daughter had her very first fever as a young mom and new mom, I was like terrified, like, oh my God, what's gonna happen to her? But now, when she has fever, I'm like, oh, okay, sick day. You get comfortable around, you get comfortable being uncomfortable. um, and addressing different issues in life.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying because we have old home videos, and my sister was kind of learning how to walk, kind of, and they were at this big park, and my mother was like panicky, like this little kid that just barely learned how to walk is going to outrun her or something. And I'm sure she wasn't that way with me the second.
Exactly.
And I see this on video. I'm going, I go, oh my God, she's going to outrun you. She barely learned how to walk. Have confidence. No. So
That's
anyway,
true, and that's same for everything in life. First, first obstacles sound very big, look very big and difficult and challenging. But then when you get used to them, and when you get confident that it's okay, I can deal with it, I can fix it, then second time and third time, it's just like something that you have to deal with it.
bring it on.
Exactly.
Is there anyone that you know that can help you achieve some of these goals or when things get difficult or challenging?
Well, yeah, I mean, I am so blessed to have such a great support system. My mom is helping me so much. I wouldn't be able to do it without her. My husband is very supportive of my dreams, sometimes my crazy dreams. But yeah, I think it's important that I have these two people in my life, and I rely on them so much for helping me. And yeah, I mean, again, two toddlers is not easy to handle, and own a business and work on a new project. So it's important to have some support. And I'm really lucky that I have that support.
That's awesome, especially when times get hard. And I myself, right now, I'm single, but if I need to be direct, and when I'm getting more serious with the lady or something like this, it's important for me to see would that person support me on an entrepreneurship journey, you know, and that's how I believe in a relationship. I will support whoever I'm with, their goals, and if it's a even balance where we both support each other in our goals, that's fine. Otherwise, it can cause a lot of headaches, and these things have to be known, and not like, I believe that somebody's all people should be like supporting me in this, but the main people in my life, yes, that's very important. And it's very important that you do have that, because when things get hard, that it'll be that little extra something that will keep you in and
Exactly.
be happy, and then you'll be able to be you, and that's the main thing.
That's so true. Yes.
Not that there's this right or wrong way to live life, but I believe, that's part of freedom, of being able to be us.
Exactly. That is very important. Yeah.
you know
Because
of course we don't take like risks that are just like totally crazy, like we're at Las Vegas or something. But what were you saying? I'm sorry.
yeah, it's important to, like you mentioned, to be you, because if you are not practicing that over the time, you will lose your creativity. And if you're living with people who don't understand that part of you, it's not going to work over time. It sounds like a sacrifice you're making. um, you're going to lose that part of you over time. So it's very, very important to be with people who can who share the same value as you, and you accept you the way you are. I think that's very
Exactly.
important.
Exactly. I like that one. Accept the way you are. That hits it right on the dot of what I was saying. How are your goals in alignment with your values, or how are your goals fit your values?
Well, I'm really, really passionate about interior design and color, but I'm also very passionate about helping people and teaching people. That is something that I absolutely enjoy. And so I think these two coming together makes a perfect package. Uh, I can do something that I'm very passionate about, but also being able to help other people. That is something that I really, it's very important for me. I get so much satisfaction when I see that people are impacted by something that I have created or I have, helped.
Yeah, I can see. So you'd like to touch other people's lives.
Exactly.
Which of your goals is the most important for you to personally accomplish?
The most important one is related to fitness and health. I feel like, if first of all, I want to be healthy. I mean, it's very interesting. If you asked me a few years ago why you want to lose weight, I would say I just want to look great. I'm going to that wedding and I want to fit in that dress. But as I'm getting older, and especially after I became a mom, I look at it totally different. I want to lose weight and I want to be healthy because I want to be around my kids longer. I want to see them grow. I want to see them get married, all kind of things like that. And so I think the most important thing for me is to be healthy and adopt a healthy lifestyle, not only for myself but for my kids, for my family, and I want to be a good model for my kids. And um, if I'm healthy and I'm happy, then the whole family is healthy and happy. And um, that's, to me, that's the most important thing.
Exactly, exactly. And I'm kind of, I'm single right now and I want to have children myself. And that's part of the thing. I'm diabetic as it is. And then I want to be there as when I do have children as long as I can. So that's a, that's a kind of a similar motivation for me to be healthy likewise in that respect. How will you feel when you accomplish these goals? Sometimes it's good to picture how we'll feel because that'll be like a motivation.
True. I mean, obviously, reaching any goal is such a great feeling. Not only um, you feel happy but also you feel very confident. Um, to me, I feel like once I reach my goals, I will be motivated to do even more. Um, if I'm successful with this online course, um, I want to create, you know, the second one and third one, and so that's how I look at it.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I think that's only natural. Is once you accomplish something, then you go, wow. And sometimes it might be turn out there was some hard things, but it was kind of like your confidence goes up, and then you like, what else can I do? And there's like that big question, and that question can be exciting, and then you don't know what. Yeah, it's just kind of like, as we sometimes we put limitations in our head of the stories we tell, and then once we disprove those things that we used to tell ourselves, then you're like, wait a second. And then you're like, I'm going to see what I can do. And it just keeps, yeah, exactly. For me right now, it's almost like I have these goals and I'm working on these things and I'm like having fun with it, like I'm playing a board game. So it's kind of like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm serious about it, but then you have to keep it kind of fun too, because if you get too serious, then you get too critical, and then people quit.
Yeah, that is another thing, I learned that when I'm thinking about my goals, if I think about, I'm going to be on keto diet for 12 months until December 2021, that will, be so overwhelming. And, I'm going to exercise 7 times a week for the next 12 months. That sounds like scary to me, but if I make little goals, something that I know that are doable and I'm confident that I can, fulfill them, that's when I can be successful. Like I'm going to do this for a month, and then, or even for a week, and then when the month is over and I feel like, oh yay, I have, achieved my goals, and then I'm going to extend that for another month and another month. So it should be big dream, but within reason, like be realistic. uh, and that's when you can ensure success, or
Yeah,
at least it works that's how it works for me.
it's true. Let's say somebody's making $40,000 and they say next year I'm going to make 250,000. It's like, whoa, it's way over here. We have to get the skills to go in increments and that sort of thing. So yeah, you push it. I like to push it where I'm like, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, but you have to keep it within a certain reason. Otherwise, it's yeah. I met somebody a while back where I was trying to mastermind and talk to people about their goals and support it and all that sort of thing. And there was somebody I met at a Starbucks and he was so enthusiastic. And as soon as he faced the first adversity, he was just crushed. And I was like, wow, he seems so enthusiastic. And I was like, it's so positive, but I was like, whoa. I was like, whoa. And the first little thing, it was like, poof, he was like knocked out like a boxer. And I was like, come up. I felt like saying, come off the mat. Get up, get up. What are you willing to sacrifice in order to achieve some of your goals?
um, well, I like to say, like sacrifice to me is, I don't see it as sacrifice. I see it as a cost. You have to pay for anything. Like let's say you want a pair of shoes, you have to pay money for an exchange for that pair of shoes, and everything is same in life. Everything has a cost, and I think, the cost for any kind of goal is time. That's how I see it. I have to invest time to be able to create something, and that's how I see it. Um,
That's so true. Yeah. And sometimes people don't realize, you know, everything is, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. And what's the cost benefit and cost benefit over time? We can't all be like 24/7 working on something and then everything else just kind of falls apart around us. So, but then, exactly. I think it's consistency and just breaking down a block of time every day to work on something. Just like there's we make blocks of time to eat. There's blocks of time to go sleep. There's blocks of time for working. So, and it's just that consistency where, and then some days you have that block of time and some days you don't totally feel like it.
right. Yeah.
And sometimes it's funny. Sometimes when I don't feel like doing something is when I get the most enjoyment out of it. Maybe something bad happened. I'm like, oh God. And then afterwards I feel better and I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah, now I can go back to
Yeah,
work.
I've noticed that. And sometimes, when I least want to do something, sometimes it turns out that it was the best decision that I did do it.
Right. Yeah.
Are your goals measurable? How will you know when you achieve your goals?
Yes, they can be measurable. In terms of for my business, I think um, I can set a goal for, like a financial goal. Like, let's say I want to earn this amount of dollars, or I want that many students. Um, but, you know, I mean, money is important, but it's not the most important thing for me. I think the most important thing for me is to have students who are happy. And if I have referrals, from my students, or if I have students who are coming back for the next course, that is when I know that I have achieved my goals, because happy students and coming back students are the that translates into me having impact on somebody's life. So if I have students who are coming back for the second and third course or referring friends, that's when I know I have achieved my goals.
Yeah, and when people keep on like taking another course and that sort of thing, we it's not all about money like you said. We connect with these people more, and they've known you after a while for years.
Exactly.
That's really awesome. What daily routines will you follow to accomplish your goals?
Something that I have learned is from someone who's very successful. She has a seven-figure business, and I asked her, how can you do it all? Like, how can you do time management and be able to do so much that you're doing? And she gave me a tip which has been very helpful. She said she's blocking times on her calendar, let's say from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And that is the time that everyone knows that she doesn't accept any phone call, she doesn't have any training, no meeting. And that is the time that she spends um, just for her business. And that is the time when she can be very productive, very creative, and everything she has done it through this, window. And that is something I have started applying in my life. And I think it has been very helpful. Everyone knows that, I mean, for me, having all these responsibilities, it's just 2 hours every day. But that 2 hours is the time that I can do so much without any interruption or any distraction. And that is something that has helped me so much.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And yeah, I think that was it'd be like shut off your, I'm just giving advice for other people that are listening. Shut off the phone, no notifications. I mean, these Facebook notifications, rah, rah, rah. And then sometimes I'm just like, okay, so and so ate their favorite pizza, and here's a picture of it,
Yeah,
and this sort of thing.
exactly.
And then even their friends and stuff, they would know not to call you during that time.
Yes,
I mean, it's just like when we were in. I mean, I'm not in school, and we didn't have cell phones back then, but it'd be like people know when I'm working, and it's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And people have to realize that when you're not clocking in and you're working at a specific place, that it's the same thing. This is your job. This is your, just like if you were working at some kind of store or something. It's the
exactly.
same exact thing. But some people don't see that. But if you're consistent with it, they will respect it.
Yeah, exactly. And that works for yourself too, as you mentioned. Like, sometimes I'm working and I'm like, let me check my Instagram. And then I get distracted by a post and, but that is the time that you're not allowed to have any of those things and only focus on, and 2 hours might sound very short time, but you can do so much if you are focused and you don't have any of those distractions.
That's so true. I was reading a book where somebody, sometimes people say, I worked 6 hours, I worked 7 hours, I did. But this one person in this book was suggesting you get like a stopwatch. And then each time you checked one of those things or you got a drink of water or whatever, it kept on stopping the thing. Found out that 8 hours wasn't even close to 8 hours. But then we tell ourselves that.
Yeah.
That sometimes if it's like really completely focused for 2 hours and kind of all over the place and you think you did something for 6 hours when you didn't. Yeah, so that stopwatch, if you ever want to know how focused you are and that you're telling yourself the truth and you don't tell yourself, oh, 8 hours, because then it'll build more. Exactly. And then you'll have more, instead of checking the Facebook and blah, 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 and all over the place and thinking you did something for 8 hours, you could have spent time with your children or did something that's more valuable than, oh, checked out that meal. Nice. That looks like good fish or whatever. Did you write down your goals?
Yes, I have a vision board that I often, go back to it every month, every couple of weeks, and I have a combination of text and drawings in it. I like to draw things. I like to draw what I want to feel and what I want to accomplish in terms of drawing, because that's it's vision board, right? You need to be visual about it. So yeah, I definitely write them down and I review them once a while.
And when you review, you sometimes make adjustments?
Exactly, yes.
Oh, okay.
Because sometimes, I might feel something at the moment, but then, after a month, that's not as important for me anymore, or I might have achieved it and I want to move to the next one. So yeah.
Yeah, and then you keep on updating as you accomplish things too.
Exactly.
Exactly. And conditions change, etc. Like, oh, COVID came.
Now erase everything.
Nah, not everything.
I'm kidding.
I'm just so glad there's all this technology and stuff. Otherwise, it would have been harder to continue our goals. So much harder. So we got to think of the positive and think of, when this was going on during the pandemic in 1918, people had whatever goals and they didn't have these computers and all these things to keep on creating when they were isolated. We have to think of the benefits that we have now. And whenever this happens next time, I hope it's 500 years from now. I think there'll be more that they can do than we can do now. I think that trend will continue.
So true.
Oh, let's make it 1,000 years. Okay.
Let's make it never.
I like that. That's better. And I can tell you planned out your goals. What are your first steps to accomplish your goals? That the very first steps you're going to do now from where you are, because of course you're made progress and you're really close to launching something, but from where you are now, what are your next few steps?
The few first steps are, just finishing the content that I'm working on, which is, I would say, 90% finished, and then putting it on platform, start thinking about different strategies for marketing. And these are the very first steps.
Yeah, for me, part of the thing that it's part of like my personality is of things that attract me to entrepreneurship is I like competing and I don't like a ceiling. and I don't like trying to convince somebody to give me a raise. It's like I know I'll get the raise, quote unquote, when I earn it. When I earn it, and the marketplace will tell me when I did earn it. And I like planning and replanning and strategizing, and I like strategy games. So this is kind of like another strategy game.
That's true. But I disagree in one part, and that is, you have to ask for things in life. Let's say if you go to the restaurant and if you don't place an order, there's no food, then the food is not gonna come to you, right? And even if they bring a food, probably it's not the food that you want to eat it. And so I see it as, like in this universe, you have to ask for things. And if you don't, things are not gonna come your way. Um, that's how I see it. Like it doesn't matter if you're in a 9 to 5 job, or if you're an entrepreneur, or if you have your business. Like I mean, that's kind of same thing with a vision board. When you have this vision board, you are looking at things that you want to happen to you, and you look around yourself, you see opportunities, and you kind of, that's how you attract them, right? Because you see them. um, so yeah, that's how I see that.
When you're focusing on something, you see it. And of course, if you don't ask, I could have had this idea and just keep on saying, oh, I have this idea for doing life coaching and doing it on Zoom and previewing it. And if I didn't ask you and the others.
Exactly, yeah.
Thank you for your time. I hope this motivated you and help you gain some clarity, because sometimes thinking about things helps us get ideas of how to do them. And a lot of I'm really motivated on my goals, so I'm always thinking about my goals. I'll be driving, and the ideas will be coming and that sort of thing. And from talking on my YouTube channel about certain topics, it's helped really clarify things, by planning my goals, talking about them, and sharing them. And then it's gotten me more clarity of what I want, what I don't want. And yeah, it's really cool in that respect.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Robert. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, it was a great opportunity for me to think about all my goals. And as you mentioned, like when you talk about them, you get more clarity on things that you want to do.
Exactly. I think that helps too, and that's part of the thing that's good about sharing our goals. But you have to keep in mind who you're sharing these goals with. I mean, if it's very toxic, pessimistic people, it's just gonna bring you down. And it's like, and then you won't really get any advice or anything. You'll only get to hear the other person. If they're toxic, you'll get to hear all their fears. And then I was like, okay, now I know what all your fears are.
True. So true. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And we will meet again in the middle of the year, and we're going to check in and see what your progress is. And I'll have some questions that help you clarify what's working, what's not working, and any adjustments you'll make, so then you can have a really great second half of the year. And I hope you reach your goals, exceed them, and say, hey, I got this, and now I'm motivated to keep on going.
Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.